Good day all, and welcome to another episode on Maxi Healthy channel. I am Abo Ruth and I'm a registered nurse. In this very episode, we'll be talking about immunization and vaccination as an aspect of healthy lifestyle. In our previous video, when we talked about healthy lifestyle, we mentioned so many aspects of healthy lifestyle, of which immunization and vaccination was one of it. In this very episode, we'll be taking it in details and telling you how immunization promotes healthy living. Sit with us as we go through this episode in details. Immunization is gotten from the word immunity, and immunity means protected against. For example, in the conventional legal system, if you say somebody has immunity, it means that the person is protected against a particular punishment by law. Bringing it to human person, the immune system gives us a form of immunity and protects us against foreign objects or foreign bodies such as microorganisms, which could be in form of virus or bacteria. What this immune system does is that it wards off these infections. It either prevents it from entering our body or it kills it when it enters. We have classification of immunity. We have two classes of immunity. We have the non-specific immunity, and we have the specific immunity. The non-specific immunity is a type of immunity which is natural. It's a natural resistance that we have, and it includes some things such as the mucous membrane, the ciliary body, the hairs in our nostrils, the mucous secretions, and so many other things. Then the second class of immunity is the specific immunity, and this one is divided into two. It is divided into the active specific immunity and the passive specific immunity. The active immunity are those types of immunity that the body produces on its own, usually in response to an antigen. This is what happens once our body gets invaded by an antigen or by a foreign body. The immune system responds by producing an antibody. So that response that the immune system gives, or that production of antibody from the scratch, is what we call the active immunity. And this active immunity has two types. It has the natural active immunity and the artificial active immunity. The natural active immunity are those types of immunity that we get from the scratch. The body produces from the scratch in response to an invaded microorganism or invasion. The body produces it in response to an invasion by a microorganism, which could be virus or bacteria. While the artificial type are those that are produced outside, example like vaccines that are produced outside and then injected or infused into an individual in order to ward off infection or to protect the individual against infection. Examples are like the tetanus toxoid that are given to children. Then the passive type of specific immunity. The passive immunity are those type of immunity that we get from another individual. Okay, this is how it happens. When you have an infection and an already produced antibody in another individual is taken and then infused into you in order to fight that infection, it is said that the type of immunity is said to be passive, because it was not your body that produced it from the scratch. Instead, the antibody was gotten from another person to fight that particular infection. That is passive immunity. And this passive immunity also has two types. It has the natural type and it has the artificial type. The natural type are those that are transferred from mother to child. For example, those that are produced in utero, in a situation where the antibodies from the mother passes through the placenta to the fetus, and also those that are gotten from breastfeeding, when a mother breastfeeds her child. That's the natural type of passive immunity. Then when you talk about the artificial type of passive immunity, you talk about those ones that are produced in the lab, like the immunoglobulins and the anti-tetanus serum used in treatment of some cancers, some autoimmune diseases, and also bronchial asthma. Having looked at immunity and how immunity is gotten, let's move over to explain what vaccination and immunization is. What are vaccines? Vaccines are substances that are gotten by either killing a microorganism or reducing its potency, that is weakening the microorganism. Now when these vaccines are produced, they are then infused into an individual to protect the individual from an infection, of a particular infection which that microorganism causes. Then we have the types of vaccine. We have the live attenuated vaccine. The live attenuated vaccine is that type of vaccine that is produced by reducing the strength of a microorganism, and the example includes the tuberculosis vaccine, which is the Bacillus of Calmette and Guerin, then the oral polio vaccine, the measles vaccine, the rotavirus vaccine, the yellow fever vaccine, and etc. Then we have the inactivated vaccine as another type of vaccine, which an example of it include the inactivated polio vaccine, the whole cell pertussis. The third type of vaccine is the subunit vaccine, which an example of it is hepatitis B vaccine, human papillomavirus vaccine, and the acellular pertussis. Then other types include the toxoid vaccine, which an example of it is diphtheria toxoid and tetanus toxoid. Then the last type of vaccine is the viral vector vaccine, which an example of it is the Ebola virus. Another subtopic moving over to is an ideal vaccine. Before you say a vaccine is ideal, it has to have certain characteristics, and some of these characteristics include: it has to be 100% efficient, it has to provide lifelong protection, it should not evoke adverse effects, it should be easy to administer, it should be cheap, it should be readily available, and it should be stable under certain conditions such as heat and light. Alright, let's move over to administration of vaccines. Here we will see how vaccines, or we'll see types of vaccines and how they are administered in both the children and in adults. You know that we are actually healthy as adults is because of the vaccines that we are given as children. Those vaccines are actually what is preventing or protecting us from infections. There's something we call immunization schedule. This schedule, when you look at it, you're going to see various types of vaccines and when the particular time they should be given in children. Some of these vaccines include, we have the tuberculosis vaccine, which is called the Bacillus of Calmette and Guerin, BCG. It should be given once in a lifetime, and it's given intradermally, that is to say just below the skin, and the dosage is 0.05 mils. It's given either at birth or 2 weeks after birth. We have the second one, which is the oral polio vaccine, used in prevention of poliomyelitis. This one is given 4 times. It's given either at birth or 2 weeks after birth. It's given at 6 weeks, at 10 weeks, and at 14 weeks. It's given orally, that is in the mouth, and the dose is just 2 drops. Then we have the inactivated vaccine. This one is given just once. It's given at 14 weeks, and the dose is 0.5 mils, and it's given intramuscularly. We have the penta vaccine, which is used in the prevention of diphtheria, pertussis, hepatitis, etc. This one is given at 6th week, at 10th week, and at 14 weeks. That means it's given 3 times. And the route of administration, that's where it is given, is in the muscles, that's intramuscularly, and the dose is 0.5 mils. Then we have the measles vaccine. The measles vaccine is given at the 9th and at the 18th month. That's just 2 times, and it's given subcutaneously. The dose is 0.5 mils. Then for adults, even though we've received some certain vaccines as children, there are vaccines that we receive as adults based on our occupation, maybe our gender, and advent of new infections. Some of these vaccines include the human papillomavirus vaccine, which every female is expected to take because human papillomavirus have been known to cause cervical cancer. So taking of this vaccine will help in prevention of cervical cancer. Then we have the rabies vaccine, which is used in prevention of the rabies, especially by those who have been bitten by dog. Then we have the tetanus toxoid vaccine, which every pregnant woman is advised to take, and also those that have injuries in order to prevent infections. Then we have vaccines used in prevention of COVID-19 and the Ebola virus vaccine too. Side effects of vaccine: just like any other medication or every other medication, vaccine has its side effects. It causes low-grade fever, and then it also causes soreness at that point of administration. And this side effects usually is due to probably where they were stored, or how they were stored, and how they were produced too. But then you know that the benefit outweighs the side effects, and because of that we are advised to take our vaccine, because it helps in protecting us against certain infection, if not all. The benefits, we've been talking about the benefits of vaccine from the beginning of this video to this point. The number one benefit and the most important benefit of vaccine is the protection it gives us against infection, and so we are actually advised to take our vaccine. And with all this being said, we have come to the end of this episode. Please share your ideas, your thoughts, and your questions in the comment section. And please do not forget to share, like, and click on the notification button to get notified when we post our videos. Thank you, and see you in our next episode.